Pine, yes like the tree, is this week's free game on the Epic Store. Originally released back in 2019, it describes itself as an open-world action-adventure game in a world where humans never reach the top of the food chain. You play as Hugh, one of the few humans still left on the small island of Albemarle. The humans live on top of some cliffs where they have lived an isolated and self-sustaining life. However, various accidents and earthquakes push your character down the cliff to explore the rest of the island and find another place to live. The races that inhabit the rest of the island are anthropomorphic animals. That includes the main factions such as foxes, crocodiles, birds, frogs and moose. Then there are further sentient races which include the tambards, which resemble red pandas, and also some mammoth type species. So the basis of the story is that you are trying to find a new home for the humans who haven't been seen for many generations by the other races. Slowly learning that in the past there were more humans and there is a deeper history you will need to explore within that. The story is very enjoyable and one of the high points of the game for many players, lasting upwards of 20 hours. It's certainly one that you're going to have to put some time into. However, the fact that it keeps people hooked for that length of time is a good sign. You're encouraged to try and influence the other factions and aid them or hinder them. They can be allied, neutral or at war with each other, and equally have a standing towards you. As with many games which have similar features, if you help one faction, the other factions dislike it, and you drop your standing with them. Sadly, sometimes the main story quests reset your standing, or wipe out materials that you may have given a faction, making it less beneficial to do this outside of the main story. Basically, it's a very nice idea, but it falls short in its execution, and your actions have a limited influence in the grand scheme of things. One of the ways to raise your influence is to donate items to villagers. This also eventually gives you access to their traders as you increase your standing. Trading is then based on a barter system as there is no real currency. This further leads to giving you access to ideas, which are basically blueprints in the game, for items and weapons, etc. Where the game does shine is in the various vaults, or dungeons you could call them, which you explore and complete various puzzles, and these explorations feel very rewarding and it keeps you going back for more. There are a lot of jumping style puzzles if that's your thing, though it is possible to get stuck and need to reload a save at times, which isn't great. Combat sadly lacks polish and feels clunky. It is clearly not a major focus of the game. The game has a really nice art style that works very well for the overall aesthetic, boasting a variety of biomes over a very large game world. The soundtrack is incredible and there are no other words for it other than perhaps phenomenal. The soundtrack is amazing and it's almost worth playing the game just to listen to that. The game has received a number of updates and console releases. However, they are now working on a new open world title, so it's unclear if there will be any future patches and there certainly won't be any DLC. Overall, the game is clearly a labour of love for a small team who've tried very hard to include a lot of interesting features, such as the faction system. However, it lacks overall polish in multiple areas, likely due to trying to have all these extra features crammed in. If you enjoy open world action adventure games in a more cartoony style with an enjoyable story and a very impressive soundtrack, it is certainly worth checking out for free on Epic Store this week. Thanks very much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned to the channel for future games reviews. And each week I do try and get a video out for the new free game on the Epic Store. Have a great weekend.